I'm Rebecca King Ferraro.
And I'm Michael Sean Breeden, and you're listening to Conversations on Dance.
Today on Conversations on Dance, we sit down with Dominika Afanasekov from the Vail Dance Festival. Dominika is a ballerina with the New York City Ballet. She talks to us about how growing up in cities all over the world impacted her training, how she's approached the breakthrough opportunities she's received so far, and what her first experience at the Vail Dance Festival was like.
Hi, Dominika. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
I think this is a perfect opportunity for people that are early Dominika fans, but you haven't really, we're not at the peak stardom that you will achieve, but to know that your name is not Dominika. That's a good start for us.
It's a good start. Mind it, though.
I saw you come out. I hadn't seen you dance before. I saw you come out in Barocco on Monday night, the balancing program, and I went...
She gasped.
And then after, I told Michael, new Dominika fan just dropped.
Thank you.
You're so beautiful. I'm so glad to have you. Just watch us today.
Yeah, so since it's your first time chatting with us, can we just, take it all the way back? When obviously you're a bunhead now. When was that born? When did that happen for you?
I'm not sure. I mean, ballet has been the only thing I've been doing my whole life. I kind of got lucky starting early at 2 years old, just kind of wanting to be in a ballet studio. I lived very close to a little Dolly Dinkle school, and what my mom tells me, I can't remember when I was 2, that we would walk past it a lot on our daily walks, and I would always want to try and drag her in. And so one day she took me in, and I was very interested. She could tell, and she asked of the teachers if I could take classes, and they only took 3-year-olds. And my mom was like, please just look at her, because I don't know what to do with her. She just keeps wanting to go in there, and she's dancing all around the house. So they took me at 2 years old to just dance around. I remember we would walk on a little balance beam and play with toys. It was so not serious, but I was having so much fun. And ever since then, wherever we were, we traveled a lot as a family. My mom and dad would always find me at ballet school, and I never wanted to do anything different. I just didn't. I wasn't even interested. Yeah. I had hobbies. I like to draw, and I played tennis for 2 months, and gymnastics for a month, and something like that. But it never stuck like ballet did, and that just kind of continued on.
They must have wanted to snap you up in gymnastics, though, because you're so limber, and you were just man.
I know. I didn't really like it. I did rhythmic gymnastics. That was a little bit more ballet.
Fancy.
Yes, and I liked it, but I only liked the dance elements. I didn't like part wheels. I didn't like the back walkovers. I was it's too much. But I liked walking and running across the I don't know what it's called, and just waving my arms around. That was always my favorite part. That's what I do. Yes, exactly.
Whatever has our favorite parts.
Exactly. I was can I just do that for my whole routine?
Yeah. So it sounds kind of like maybe there wasn't even a transition, a moment of recognition that you want, I'm going to do this professionally. It's just kind of innate in you, right?
I've never thought about that. I even it was just day by day, month by month. Yeah. I think that came from our traveling, because we would move about every 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Where we would be either in different cities in Russia, in Switzerland, in Florida, and
Florida's the natural next stop there.
So I don't think I thought further than the next few days, because it was constantly change. And I think that was great, because I got to dance in so many different schools with so many different teachers. Yeah. And all of them have been wonderful. And I got really lucky with how my training turned out. Yeah.
It's so interesting. So you must have had many different styles and versions of things. So how were you kind of adapting to that as you went to each place?
I don't know. I was just kind of doing it.
Yeah. Because you're just young. And
I was young, because then we settled. This all happened before I was 12. Mm-hmm. At 12, we settled in Florida. And that's when a year later, I went to Next Generation Ballet with Philip Neal. So the years before, yeah, I remember one month I would be in this Diaghilev school in Russia. It's very strict, and we would only do floor bar because we were like babies.
Right.
We would only do mat exercises, and then the next month I would be back in Florida doing like fouettes and like, and no one really taught me how to do fouettes, and I was just kind of doing it.
Yeah, interesting, because there wasn't maybe like a path, like, oh, the next thing you will learn is X, Y, and Z, because you were just moving.
I don't even remember when I learned steps necessarily. I feel like I really started learning things once I got to NGB and then SAB. But before that, I was just kind of figuring out on my own. But of course, with a lot of guidance. But
Sure.
Yeah.
it wasn't like a planned progression necessarily.
Yeah.
Funny.
So, I mean, NGB is such a great school, and obviously you're in great care there. You know, you have Philip Neal, who's so wonderful, who was there for so long. And I guess I'm wondering how that ended up shaping you. Were they instrumental in saying you should go to this summer program, or this is a company that you could have your eye on?
I mean, they kind of shaped my technique. Philip and Yvonne Lemus. Like every day was kind of, that became a routine. And I was there at such a young age. They still wanted me to stay for a little longer. Like their plan for me was to stay another year when I left. But I think they saw that I was ready enough. So kind of wanted to let me go at a certain point. But for summer courses and things, I was not a summer course girl. I would not be like flying out to summer courses, and my family is very like close knit. So yeah. And I felt like NGB summer course was very informative because they would have so many people come, and like Kira Nichols, Edward Villella, Patty. I showed a picture to Patty this morning of us when I was like 12 when she came and taught. There were so many amazing teachers coming in that I felt like I had enough versatility. And also like contemporary teachers and jazz and all of that stuff too. And he also performed such amazing things. Like I remember I did like as they split the Sleeping Beauty pas, the wedding pas, into 3 couples. So we all did I did that at 12, I think. And then like the next year we did La Source, and during the school year I got my first balancing ballet was Donizetti. I got to do the same exact spot I did in the company. Gracious and Sumo Silly. I love that. So I didn't feel like I had to go anywhere. I didn't feel the rush, and I felt like I had so much to learn still there. But then once I was 13, so many of my friends have already gone to so many summer courses.
Right.
And I was kind of started talking to my mom about SAB because that's my best friend at the time. Loved it, and she would always go there like she was an SAB summer girl. And I was like, maybe I should try it. So then that was the year I
At 13.
auditioned. Yes, I was then 14 for the summer course.
Yeah. And did you stay for the year right after the summer course?
Yes.
Yeah.
My parents were like, you're not staying.
How did you manage that with them?
I don't know. I didn't do anything. It was SAB.
They called.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you don't understand.
I didn't do anything.
We will pay you to that Dominika into
I
the
didn't
school.
do anything, and I was like, Mom, I got asked. I remember her telling her, and she was like, oh, that's nice. My parents are so not like ballet parents. They don't know anything about ballet really. A little bit more now.
Sure, yeah.
More about just how it looks and the artistry and what it makes them feel.
Right.
Not like technique or anything.
Yeah.
So they didn't really know how any of that worked either. And I wasn't really sure about it either because my mom was like, well, how, like, is asking all these logistical questions.
Of course.
And I was like, well, yeah, but she was asking about a scholarship. I was like, well, they don't give scholarships to people. And because I didn't know anything, Right. So then, like, after, they asked me pretty early on in the summer course. So thankfully they had a lot of time to, like, talk to people. But I had no idea what was going on. So then one day it was just happening. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going.
So, okay, it's 2 questions. First of all, what what was your summer experience like there?
Yeah.
Like what made you connect there and want to be there for the year?
So I feel like it came from Donizetti actually from in the first place and Philip Neal. That was the first ballet where I was like, wow, this is so interesting. Like I want to really, we were rehearsing it for so long and I was an understudy. So at a certain point I started like learning every single course spot and think I got put in.
Yeah.
So it was worth it. But it was just one of those ballets where I could watch every single day. We were rehearsing it for like half a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like sitting like in my seat, jumping up and down, watching it. And the music, the choreography, the costumes, I like loved everything about it. And I wanted to learn more ballets like that. And once I found out about Donizetti, I started YouTube searching and then Stravinsky and Serenade with Kay Mazo, of course. Those two videos. And then Increases, Justin Peck, and it's like Sarah Mearns in there. And I was just obsessed. It was a huge obsession. And during the audition class, Alan Pfeiffer taught, and just the way he was explaining everything, the way he was taking his time to really kind of demonstrate what the Balanchine technique was, I was so happy and like at peace and not scared because, of course, I was a little worried because I've never done Balanchine.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was taking us like step by step in an audition class, I was like, oh, I think this is going to be great. I'm excited to learn more. And I think it'll be not too everything thrown at you at once.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and that kind of continued on in the studios at SAB. All the teachers, I just adored them. They're all so special and different and have their own personalities, and all of the rep we learned was incredible. Like in 5 weeks, we did like Faust variations, we did Stars and Stripes, we did so many things, and Swan Lake Paw and Nutcracker Paw. It was amazing. I've never learned that much rep in that such a like short amount of time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out that that's how the company was, and that's how the school was, and how many different performances they get to do in little excerpts. And I just wanted to dance the choreography. That's honestly what really drew me in.
Yeah. So did you feel like your early experience as a child moving around helped you to just be adaptable to the New York City lifestyle?
I think so, definitely. At a certain point, I do feel like because we were settled for a little longer, things became a little bit more scary. And of course, it's like the age of 14, 15.
Yeah.
Where everything is like you become more self-aware and you're suddenly living in a dorm full of people and everyone's kind of more judgy. Right. And I never like grew up around Americans that much, and it was definitely like a little bit of a culture shock because I'm such an open person and like I am who I am to people. So it was definitely like a learning curve. My first year, I was like, whoa. Honestly, the whole time I was SAB, it was a big challenge, like socially, but dance-wise, it was just like so magical. So it just kind of kept me going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Balanced it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What point did you start to consider a life in New York City Ballet? Was that always once you were there? I mean, you know how it is at SB. That's like as soon as you get settled, once you're out of the summer program, and then it becomes, okay, next step.
Right.
Where is my apprenticeship?
Honestly, yeah, I think it's like in everyone's minds, of course, there, which that's what kind of makes the whole atmosphere so scary at times. I don't know how I had this like confidence within myself, not on the outside really, not in the classroom necessarily, but like deep down inside of me, I somehow knew it was going to work out. I can't imagine like doing that now, to be honest.
Right.
But somehow at 14, I was like, I'm going to work my hardest. I'm going to do everything I can, but like, I'm going to be a dancer in the New York City Ballet. And it's so weird to say, but I kind of just had that feeling that I'm just going to keep going and everything will work itself out. Once it got closer to like my apprenticeship year, that's usually when it's all like choppy, up and down waves, and you're like, I don't know what's going on. You start thinking about the things, and of course, it's all going to be fine. You're going to be dancing in a place anyways. But it was just like the rep had such a chokehold on me that I was just like, I really want to be here just for the amount we dance, for the ballets we dance. It's just, it makes me feel whole. And when I'm not doing it, it's like painful.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, I'm happy it worked out. Thank God.
We get to watch you dance.
Yeah. So what was it like once you got into the company? You're dancing this rep that you've been obsessed with. How is it feeling? How are you adjusting?
Oh my gosh, I was so excited. It was also such an interesting time to get in. This is a funny story. I got my apprenticeship during like our meetings before Christmas break.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And we were told, my group of 3 girls, me, Shelby Mann, Anna Snellgrove, and Charlie Klessa. It was the 4 of us. We were told we were going to start in August. We're like, great. So we'll finish off the year. I was so happy. Do workshop, because I was in the school kind of during COVID. So I've never done workshop. Oh, the only workshop I did was my first year C1, and we did growling dance. So it's like, great, we'll get to do workshop together, finish it up, and get ready for the season. So excited. The next day, I get a call from Jonathan Stafford, and he's on the phone, and he goes, don't get on the plane to go home. I was gonna go home in like 2 days, and he's like, we need you guys for Swan Lake in the winter. So plans all canceled. We go to the Beacon Hotel. That's where they put us up when the dorms are closed, and we start right away, like in
Learning.
Yeah, in like 5 days we started our apprenticeships.
Wow.
But we got so lucky because we got to dance so much. I look at the apprentices now and I'm like, oh my gosh, that must be so tough, because sometimes they don't have a single ballet in the season, because it's just there's so many people in the company right now. And my first ballet was Faust, which is crazy because that's the first balanchine ballet I've ever known of, because when I was little at NGB and doing a summer course, the older girls did Faust. And I at the time I didn't know that was balanchine or anything. Right. I was like, oh, that looks really cool. Like they have their hair done. They're like in nice little purple dresses. So that was the first ballet I ever did with the company, which is such a full circle moment. And that same season we did balanchine Swan Lake and Forties. What a way to start.
Yeah, what's not to love?
Yeah. I was just so busy right away that it was so helpful to adjust, like dancing wise. Socially, there are so many amazing dancers in the company right now that it's like people take you under their wing and kind of help you out. So it was honestly a pretty smooth transition. It was definitely scary thinking about if you're going to get your core contract or not, because once you get older, I think you start questioning yourself.
Yeah.
And I was definitely like, it was tough for me to be like, hey, everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
When, you feel like your every single move is being judged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, because I remember there was a rule. I'm sure the rule still exists, but it seems to be harder to find meads to get there. But it used to be that if you did 8 ballets in any season, you could get into the company. Does that happen anymore?
Yes, it does. It does. It's like there's different amounts of ballets for a specific season.
Right.
Yeah. And then like usually they're so aware of it. So then they like put you in if someone else was like, yeah.
Ballets 9 ballets as well. And I remember my friends that were apprentices, they all got to like 8 one year, and they were like,
yeah. My roommate Chloe Walker got in because she did like 9 ballets in the spring or something.
Yeah.
But I got my core contract pretty early because I started in January for my apprenticeship. I got my core in October.
Wow.
With a group of people. They just promoted us very, very quickly, just in a meeting after, or it was during fall season. Yeah. It was, because one girl, Sarah Harmon, was like, she started for Nutcracker, so her year was running out.
right.
And they just promoted her and the 3 of us all at the same time. I think they were taking more people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was very, very nice.
It's nice to have a group of you two, or it's not just like one.
That's fine. It's literally yesterday we were talking to Unity about this because they do have for Unity situation. It was that they had to promote what was it? Or they they need Unity was going to be an apprentice, but they have to move some apprentices up to the board. So that's always everyone's happy.
Similar thing.
Yeah.
But it came out of nowhere. It's just like an email sent out to us like John and Wendy and Rosemary would like to meet with you, or I think maybe Rosemary wasn't in that meeting, but yeah.
What are your thoughts then? You're like, this is it, or it's over?
Oh my gosh, I was so scared.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, it's all four of you. Like, you're not gonna say something bad. You're all four. Right. Yeah, that's true. I was freaking out. Like, I was walking down that hallway, my legs were like jello, shaking. I was terrified. It was so nice. Yeah, it was such a turning point of like, finally feeling like, okay, now I can just really work on all the things my stress has been kind of, limiting me in.
And what year was that? That was 23?
I think that was 22.
Oh, you do that, right? Because I'm doing this by Ballet Collective years. You did 3 and 4 with us.
Yes.
So, and 3 would have already been, it wasn't like right
I think
away.
that was 22.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't even remember that. It's crazy. Like, I don't know.
Well, all the years blend together anyways. I want to turn now to Vail if we can. I want to hear how the opportunity came about for you to come to the Vail Dance Festival. This is your first year?
Yes, first year. I'm so happy to be here. It was kind of silly. We were watching the Grammys, I think it was. Me and Chloe were watching the Grammys. It was like 10:30 or something p.m. And I think it was like the intermission where Abracadabra was playing or something like that. And I get a DM from Heather Watts, and she's like, hey, so do you want to come to Vail? I was like, this is so funny. This is so funny. And I was like, yes, of course. Like right away, like texted her back.
Right.
DM'd her back. I've always wanted to go to Vail. It was always like a, bunhead dream. It's like amazing dancers, all the rep directors is just incredible. And the rep they do is just looked so fun. Everything, the years I was in the company and people would be talking about summer, I was like, oh, I would love to go to Vail one day. I don't know when it's going to happen. I kind of know Heather. I think she kind of knows me. Like, it's like we see each other in passing, but I've never really like talked to her for a while. No, I don't know if she's seen me dance. Like, I didn't know how realistic it would be.
Heather has eyes everywhere. Us dads.
Did she ever tell you, like, I mean, I'm assuming just by coming to the ballet and seeing you, but I wonder if there was like a moment where she was like, oh, we need her.
No, she hasn't told me.
Yeah.
She hasn't told me.
Yeah, so let's talk about what you've done here so far. You had a really big debut on Monday.
Yeah, you can turn over Rocco.
Opposite Mira, which is just
so fun.
You guys, it was just so fun. I mean, this is not to be caught up in looks or anything, but it is just so beautiful and satisfying to your gorgeous blonde juxtaposed against Mira, like Snow White perfection, and that's a very balance dreamy thing too.
Really, but
the shampoo commercial thing and Serenade, then we got to get a Dominika, Mira, and we need a redhead, and then we got a Sarah.
That's right. I love it. What was it like have you danced that ballet in the corps so far?
No,
not yet.
I understudied in the corps for a season.
Okay,
and then that girl actually was Jackie Bologna. She retired, and I was like, so it went this past winter. Or spring Barocco, and I was like, yes, maybe I'll get to do it. And I was completely not called. Not called to understudy, not called to dance it. I was like, darn. But in the company, I now understudy Mira. So it was nice to be familiar with the ballet now and kind of know it and just kind of have to learn the opposite side for everything. But it's definitely like such a ballet that is so monumental that,
Yeah.
Love it.
You are understudying, well, we can talk about both things. Of course, you want to get to what you've done, but you're already understudying these insane things. And sometimes that's more fun to talk about on the podcast because our audience, we see you on stage, but to know like the potential of what we might be getting Dominika in down the road. I mean, I know you learn Bizet second, is that right?
Yeah.
Not yet. Okay, I just put that out in the universe. But Barocco, you learn the pas in Barocco, you learn symphony in 3 pas. You've learned Odetto Dio, you've learned other like big Stravinsky. You learn K. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's so right. The second aria is so beautiful.
Favorite of all time, especially growing up watching her, and that is just,
We have a good rep coming up.
Yeah. So what's that like? I mean, obviously these are really iconic roles, things that you have as a bunhead dreamt of for so long. What's the reality like of being in the studio with your rep directors, feeling the steps on your body for the first time?
It's like very strange and very at home at the same time. It's strange to be in the core dancing almost every single night, and then also having that responsibility of being something much more than just a technical dancer. And I feel like that takes so much time and thought and effort that sometimes I feel a little bit all over the place. But also then being in the studio, and if like there's time, sometimes our rep directors let us, rehearse. The understudies rehearse, and it just all like seems so familiar in a way.
Right.
And so like myself, like all the things I'm so grateful that they have given me to learn and to dance. They all have, of course, they have their own like challenges, and sometimes like when I when I was doing Red Angels, like I was like, oh my gosh, that's so not me. And those challenges just it keeps evolving, and I feel like I keep finding new assets of myself. And I've been so incredibly grateful of how they've kind of been, I don't know if it was, purposeful or just the way it's happening, that I feel like with every next step, I have more of myself that I can give, and more little corners I can unfold. So it's been so incredible, and kind of is very surreal too. We are so fast paced, then there's not really time for me to be like, oh my god, which is honestly great. Yeah, just a very good part of it.
Yeah.
But just like truly thinking about it, I can't believe it that I get to learn these things.
To dance these things. I can believe it after seeing you dance.
Yeah. I find it highly believable.
Yeah.
But maybe because I want to talk about some specific roles you dance, but what was the first thing that you would consider a breakthrough for you? Something that was more featured?
Well, my first ever solo thing was a fairy in Sleeping Beauty, which was perfect because it wasn't too stressful, and there was like a group section before, and I had a lot of things going on in Sleeping Beauty anyways, just like core things that I couldn't really over obsess. And the solo was short, and but I think my first big thing was definitely Fawn. That came the next season.
But again, like Fawn, I mean, you were so stunning in it, but it's stressful because it's iconic, and so many amazing dancers have done it before. Yes. But low stress in the technique department.
Truly.
So
it was a shock for me when I saw that on the rehearsal schedule. It was just my name with JP one day, and that was my second spring season. Like my first spring season was Artemis, and then the next spring season was Fawn. And I was shocked. That's a dream role for me from like the beginning. All the dancers that have done it have been my favorite dancers. And something about it was so beautiful and stunning. And I was just like, that's definitely a role I want to do. And I knew it was coming up in the spring. And I was like, wow, like I love that ballet. I'm so excited just to like see it and blah, blah, blah. And of course, like in the back of my mind, I was like, I really hope I can do it someday. And then the schedule came out and it was my name. I was like, did I manifest this? Yeah, you did. It was insane. I couldn't believe it, honestly. And I was so nervous the night before. Oh my gosh. I slept, thankfully. But yes, it was very simple. I had a good partner, Chris Grant. And we rehearsed just for so long. Thank you, JP, he was like I felt so prepared. I did not have to think about the steps, and the whole rehearsal process was incredible. And once the date came, I was so nervous. I was like, I can't believe, like, the one thing I thought of, like, the night before, I was like, I can't believe I'm gonna go in front of the curtain. The- I was like, I can't believe I'll get to do that. But then at the same time, I was just like, oh, I really hope I can show them that, like, this was worth it. There was so much time and effort from every single aspect, and hope, and but it was all good, and Unity helped me out with all the spray, the firm grip on my point shoes for the slippery floor, because it was like canvas. You're dancing on canvas, which I was also very nervous about. Oh, how was that gonna feel?
Right.
But I honestly, it also kind of was just partially luck, because Unity was the only ballerina left doing that role, because before that too, it was Sterling and Lauren Lovett, and they both left, so there was kind of a spot. So
Yeah. I mean, and I immediately drew comparisons to Janie, because you're just such two blonde, gorgeous dancers. Being so beautiful and fun, I remember. But
sure takes.
yeah, no, another full circle moment for you must have been, since you mentioned earlier, loving increases, watching the Murns video, and that was something you got to do. And I have to tell you, I'm sure I told you after, but you know, I've staged that ballet 1 billion times now, so it's like the back of my hand. But when Dominika did it, she showed me things, possibilities in it. It made it feel like I just hadn't considered an approach in that way. I was like, that's just the best feeling when you know ballet so well, and then someone opens your mind to it even more. And so what was the experience like for you?
It was so exciting. I couldn't believe it. I was like, because there were a lot of dancers still in the company that have done it, and Justin just decided to do a whole brand new young cast.
Love it.
And it was so fun. It was like all of my friends. We were always like having such a great time before we started on stage.
And a great partner.
Yes, great partner, Preston. And then later on, I did it again with Gilbert too.
Ugh, the two.
Yes, it was
Spoiled.
incredible. Absolutely spoiled. And I was like, wow, this is Sarah Murns' part. That's the first thing I thought of, because of that video. I remember at NGV, I would sometimes be sitting like waiting for my next class, watching that YouTube video, just like over and over again. It was such a great cast. Taylor Stanley is in that, and I think Brittany and Emily Garrity.
Yeah.
And it was very surreal. And I also have never done a like Justin work before, and Increases was definitely my first love. And I was so excited to work with him. I was so excited to work with Craig Hall. It kind of opened a new door that I haven't, crossed yet. Haven't worked with Justin, haven't worked with Craig, and it was an incredible experience. It was so fun. And
yeah. So 2 other roles I want to talk about. One, movements for piano and orchestra, which
that one.
I don't believe you were coached by Suzanne yet.
I was.
You were at both. Okay.
Yes.
So then it makes even more sense. Okay, I was going to do before and after, but movements, you got Suzanne coaching, and then of course, Arante, you got Suzanne coaching in. Yeah. So let's talk about those experiences.
Oh my goodness. Movements is probably the favorite thing I've done so far in the company. Something about it, it was so different from anything I have ever done. It was completely like separating away from my normal ballet state, which is very like adagio and like very fun. So that was also very nice that my first thing was very
lyrical.
Yes, I felt very comfortable in. Movements, I've watched, I think the first tape I watched that was on like Vimeo was of Rebecca Crawford.
Oh, yeah, she's so beautiful in that.
Oh, good in it. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. This looks amazing. It's so musical, and the music is so interesting. And I was so fascinated by it. But I was like, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this. Like, it's so interesting. And I worked with Rebecca on it, and it was just with Rebecca, and then Davide Ricardo was my partner. It was just the best experience ever. Oh my gosh. Every day felt like an experiment. I never felt self-conscious or worried. I felt like I could go for anything. And I think Rebecca and I get paired up a lot now, and I think it's because I feel so free with her watching me. I trust her opinion completely. Like, I don't feel like I need like another pair of eyes to like help out. And once we like learned the ballet, once we rehearsed it a good amount, it felt like breathing. Like it was just second nature. And my mom is like a music teacher and like a musician, so musically it came pretty easily for me, which was very nice.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's some huge feat just for anyone that doesn't know the chords. It's very spiky, weird, massive rhythmic shifts, and
And it made me into like a different character on stage, while at the same time it felt very truthful to myself. It was just like nothing else I've experienced before on stage, and I got to do 3 shows, and all of them were so different and exciting. And after the first one, I was just so excited to dance it. Like, not even that nervous. Of course, nervous a little bit, but the excitement was just overpowering. Like, I would want to do it every day if I could. It was just so fun.
Okay, so then Errante is another thing that it's like that's so against, not that you have a type, but like the willowy, lyrical, languid qualities of Fawn. It's like Zagana is just fire.
Yes.
So that must have been another way to explore and push the boundaries of your artistic.
Yeah. I was called to understudy it the first time it went, like a year before, when Mira debuted it, when they brought it back. And that was the first time Suzanne was like coming back into the company since I had gotten in. And I was really hoping to be like in the room, or like to be in the corps. But there's like only 4 people, and they usually have like their, set older girls that do special things. And I was like, oh, I hope I really get to be in the room just to witness her, because I'd never seen her in person. And it was like, first it was the corps rehearsal came out, and I'm not there. I was like, darn, this sucks. I'm gonna be in the door watching then. And then I didn't even think that I could understudy the principal, because it was so opposite anything I have done in the company till that point. Like that season that Errante went, I got to do Red Angels and a little bit more of this different movement. So I was like, there's really, that didn't even cross my mind. And then once that I was on the schedule, I was very excited, but I was a little bit scared. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. It was so nice that they gave me basically like a whole year to keep growing and experiencing new ballets before I could try myself in this one, because I think it did take a lot of confidence, even if it was kind of maybe not real at a certain point in the beginning, but to then eventually feel confident in what I was doing on stage alone for like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Was very, very helpful.
Talk about that solo, because Suzanne talks about it in her documentary Illicit Use, and what does she say? It was like flying blind. Like you have to use your radar to navigate it through.
Yeah. It's very jarring, like the first time you rehearse it or like learn it. There's just so many steps that are not necessarily technical steps, and that are
you're looking at the ground.
You're like, where's the front? It's so much about just your personality and just about you and about the music. And every single show, the music was a little bit different, which I enjoy because it makes me feel very present. And I'm not usually the person who thinks something is too fast or too slow, because I kind of like going with it. I feel like it helps me be more artistic and more in the ballet. I think that, and I worked with the violinist kind of one-on-one. We kind of talked about our own interpretation, so then we would kind of sync up a little bit more, because sometimes she would go very slow in a part where I felt more like anxious about a movement. So I would try to explain that to her, and she was so lovely to Lydia. Her name is Lydia. But she was lovely to work with. And yeah, it definitely took a lot of time to be comfortable with it. And I got a lot of rehearsals, which is nice. But it was kind of about, I noticed when I first was learning it, I was really playing a character, and because the movement was so not natural to me. But maybe like just a week before the shows, I had this very strange like transition from, if the solo kind of felt forced to me at first. I felt like I really was trying to do these things, and then somehow magically, maybe not magically,
Through a lot of hard work.
Yeah, I felt like I let go of that pushiness, and it kind of started coming out of me, and knowing the music really well. It became my own character that I developed, which was so fun because I didn't know that was in me. And like by the third show, I was just having so much fun on stage. Yeah, that's great.
Well, now the world is your oyster.
Sure is.
You know, there are so many things coming up for you, but I'm wondering, for your personal, since we love to put things out, you know, and we love to attract them. Like you attracted, what was that we just said? Like, I mean, everything. It's just like you attracted the increases by being obsessed with it when you're 13. You know.
But when people put things out on this podcast, a lot of times they happen. Here's your mom. So
what's a dream role for this? For the upcoming season, we can limit your ballet pool. Things
for the upcoming season.
Well, like the whole year.
Oh, the whole year. Oh my gosh. There's so many great things going.
I mean, the thing I wanted, I'll just interrupt, but for ages, because they used to do this a little bit more. It's like when Dominika, when she very first got on, was like, sugar plum now. Oh, yeah. Sugar plum now.
Yeah, that's definitely, that we can say that. That's definitely a dream.
Yeah.
It's just that part. Oh my gosh. That music is just lovely. Yeah.
There's nothing better.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
What else is going? I don't know what else is happening.
Well, I mean, someone I know is working at City Ballet.
I was going to say, I mean, I just gave you the entrance. Maybe there's a Heatscape. Can you drop a Heatscape casting? You don't know it. Not yet. Just kidding. I get it.
Suite 3 is coming back.
I've
been obsessed with the waltz.
The waltz is so beautiful.
I think who was I watching? I think I was watching a tape of Judy doing that, and oh my gosh, it was just luscious and beautiful. That music is just really, I love it.
Tchaikovsky seems to be a main driving force for you.
I was gonna say diamonds. But
it's funny because now they're like, we keep asking people what they want to do at Vail, and everyone just says diamonds. It's
it's perfect.
There's a long list.
There should be a night that's just diamond.
Oh my God,
all different.
Can you imagine? It's like it would go like Chloe, Isabella, Dominika, the little mirror together.
Doing it. But then like Chloe was saying too, she wanted to do. Didn't Unity want to do it? I think she said she did do it. Right? Anyways.
Yeah.
Well, so much is coming up for you, and we're so happy to have you here in Vail.
Thanks so much for having me. It's so fun.
It's got a lot of years ahead of you. You have definitely be back on.
Oh.
Bye. Thank you, Dominika.
Thank you so much.
Conversations on Dance is part of the ACAST Creator Network. For more information, visit conversationsondancepod.com.